But it also really helps to exercise the brain that brings us real life daily benefits. Ideally, as you're reading books, you'll also be reading from different worldviews, perspectives, and cultures. One of the reasons I love reading from morally gray characters is because I generally try to be a kind person in life, and reading from the perspective of someone who's unlikable, someone who is not making good decisions, someone who's selfish and who's not benefiting the world, definitely not the hero of the story. I find it really interesting because when a morally gray character is written really well, I feel like I understand the perspective of someone whose headspace I try not to be in. Fascinating perspective to me. It's such a cool way to explore other cultures. It's such a cool way to experience the world from a different set of eyes. There have also been studies that have shown that reading increases empathy, reading from other people's perspectives, from other people's beliefs, from other people's world views, and experiencing the world from another person's shoes a lot of times can help us to stop being so narrow-minded, to stop being so focused on how we see the world and how we experience the world, and really broaden that and help us to have a lot more empathy and a lot more care for others in humanity.
We are amusing ourselves to death. Video, TV, movies, music, podcasts, and on top of that, constant notifications. They're all flooding in. We are always being stimulated, and as a result, it is killing our ability to focus. And this isn't just something that we've noticed about ourselves. Research backs this up. Attention spans are declining. It's easy to blame the internet for this problem, but it's actually much older than that, though the internet's made it worse. And if we want to do something about it, we need to be able to break down the problem and really talk about where it comes from. So that all begins with a shift from books to television. So in the 1980s, Neil Postman wrote the book Amusing Ourselves to Death. And he was primarily interested in the cultural effects of a shift from using the written word as our primary way to transfer information to a shift towards mass media, and in particular, television. The invention of the printing press changed the world. Suddenly, mass communication was possible on a scale that had previously always been impossible. And this is how new and radical ideas were able to so quickly spread. So the Protestant Reformation probably wouldn't have happened without the printing press, or the Enlightenment, or the American Revolution. But media theorists like Postman, and here we should also mention the work of Marshall McLuhan, also tell us that how we communicate ideas, the media that we use, actually changes the way that we think. McLuhan's favorite phrase here was, "The medium is the message." So Postman uses early American culture as an example of what he calls the typographic mind. This is a mind that has been shaped primarily through consuming books. And that means that it's a mind that's used to prolonged sessions of engaged, serious, rational activity. In other words, it's a mind that's used to focusing. So that's the first takeaway. Reading as an activity actually helps build your focus, and it shifts the way that you think. But we've stopped reading. In Postman's time, more people were watching television than reading, and those numbers have only gotten worse when you add screens and the internet and phones and all of that.
In Why Does This Matter, Jack? Well, I found a study showing that people that read 30 pages of a book each night have more left temporal lobe activity the next morning. Memory is found in this area, so there's been some studies that link reading with lower risks of dementia. It's also linked to emotional regulation, so this could potentially explain why a lot of people find that reading helps to reduce their stress and anxiety. This area is also responsible for verbal recall, so it might help you to retrieve your words. Retrieve your words a little bit quicker. Although these second 2 points were only shown to work in the short term, so that means you have to build a habit to